Now, the people that are at a lower interest rate right now with their fixed rate mortgages that are going to come up for renewal, I think these guys are going to be in for a really big shock.
Live behind decisions I chose. Peaks feel good and the valleys get low. Chains for the tires in the rain, hail, snows. Like this everywhere that I go, everywhere that I go.
Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker. So today I want to address a concern that we're hearing a lot about, which is affordability. We're talking about people that are currently facing affordability issues because of the interest rate increases. Also people that have amazing fixed rate mortgages right now that are likely going to come up for renewal sometime soon. How can we address this? We're going to address this in two ways, okay? So the people that are actually in variable rate mortgages right now, unfortunately, I don't think that there's a whole lot that you can actually do about it right now in terms of like trying to lock in, because your lock-in rate probably is not going to be anything better than what you're getting as your variable rate right now. You're pretty much going to have to deal with it the way that it is up until it comes up for renewal. Now, the people that are at a lower interest rate right now with their fixed rate mortgages that are going to come up for renewal, I think these guys are going to be in for a really big shock, because we know a bunch of people that have locked mortgages for 3 years for like 1.5, 2%, 2.5%, even 3%. And when these mortgages come up, like basically we saw the rates start to come down and stabilize around like, you know, May, June of 2022. And a lot of people did take on 3-year fixed rate mortgages, which are all going to start to come due very shortly. And that is a concern. So now what's going to end up happening is, in my opinion, is that if you have this low interest rate, you're going to have to go back to your bank. Say, for example, if you're dealing with a TD bank right now, that's who has your mortgage, they're going to renew your mortgage for sure. But what's going to happen is you're going to get a higher rate from them. They're not going to ask you for any pre-qualifying documents or ask you what your income is now or anything else like that. As long as you've made your payments, you haven't missed anything, and you're in good standing with them, they're just going to offer you a renewal. But they will offer you a renewal at a significantly higher rate than what you're probably at right now. I suspect it could be somewhere between 5.5% and 6%, depending on the product that you kind of go for. On the other flip side of what's going to happen here is that you're probably going to be able to go to one of the other lenders, RBC or Scotiabank or BMO or somebody else like that, that's probably going to offer you maybe 50 basis points lower, or maybe even more lower. But the problem you're going to have there is you're going to have to qualify for that mortgage. So when you initially got that mortgage, if you're pushing all of your limits, you're probably not going to be able to get a lower rate from these other banks, because you probably just don't qualify, and you're going to be forced into dealing with the bank that you have right now, and they're going to hold you because you have nowhere to go. They're going to keep their rate high for the renewal because they know you're stuck. You're going to have to stick around with them. When is the interest rate going to go down that everything's going to come back into order? Honestly, guys, I don't see it happening anytime soon. Not enough that you're going to feel a relief that you're going to say, okay, finally the rates are back down. Because the interest rates that we saw at like 1.5% to 3% or something like that, I don't think those are ever really going to come back. We're sitting at somewhere around 5.5% into getting a new mortgage right now. And I think that will probably come down, maybe to that 4.5%. That's my guess, somewhere around that level. And I think that's just normal. So I think that's something that we're going to have to get conditioned to. So I think that we do have an opportunity, maybe in 18 months, 24 months, maybe even longer, that will probably come down to that rate of 4.5% or something like that, which I think is going to be normal. Until then, if you feel like that you're not going to be able to sustain this, my strong advice to you guys is this. If you have done your budgeting and you've really tried to be strict with yourself and say, hey, we're going to stop this frivolous spending, and we're going to be able to cut back on restaurants, we're going to cut back on vacation, we're going to cut back on these recreational things we're doing. At the end of the day, guys, you got to live and enjoy life. But the thing is that if you can come up with a reasonable compromise where you're still enjoying life, but you can budget a little bit better for the next little while, where you can stay in the home so you don't have to sell it, then I suggest to do that. Try that first. The next step I would tell you is that if you do that budgeting and you really feel like you're still not going to be able to sustain this thing, my strong advice is that you guys do something about it sooner than later. Don't let it drag on like things are just going to magically become okay. You're going to start taking money from your line of credit, your credit cards, and my guess is that you guys are going to probably end up digging yourself a deeper hole. We are all home proud in North America. It's just our culture, okay? Nobody wants to let their friends, family, and themselves see that they're losing their property, or they're going to have to sell, or force their hand in selling, or something else like that. But sometimes we just come into these situations. Well, it is the smartest thing to do. So my advice is that, again, if you've done your budgeting and you're still like, hey, this is not something that we can deal with, do not start going into your line of credit, your credit cards, and trying to sustain this thing, because it's going to be harder for you to get out. I know I repeated that, but that's very important for you to understand. My suggestion to you guys is to right size yourself right now, okay? If you can actually realize that and sell your property now and take the money that you have and buy something a little bit more affordable, maybe a little bit further out, I think that's probably a smart move of something that you guys could probably do. Now, if you can sell your property and you can say, I can't enter the market again, then my suggestion to you guys would be, and if you feel comfortable, and a lot of things have to happen, I can't explain everything in this one little video, maybe a better bet for you to do is take the money that you have and lock it up into some kind of pre-construction property, okay? At least that way you're not dealing with getting a mortgage right now. You have some time to hopefully the rates to come down, and at the same time, while this pre-construction property is being done, that you will probably, hopefully be able to gain some equity on it at the same time, and you're not walking away from the market. So I think it's very important that if you guys come up to this position where you're starting to be in a situation where you really feel that you can't afford it, please do not go down this line of trying to grasping at straws, trying to make this thing happen. Be smart about it. Get ahead of the curve, okay? Try to take the action right now so you don't suffer more later on. That being said, there's another equation to this whole thing, okay? And I get this question a lot of people that are trying to get into the housing market. How do we actually get in when prices are so high, interest rate is so high? How do we manage to actually get into this real estate? We really want in. There's a couple of ways I think that you guys could do this. And my suggestion would be, and I don't really like this idea, but I know opportunities are getting tighter to get into. Maybe an opportunity here is joint venture, okay? Maybe you and your friend are thinking, hey, let's buy something together. I think it could be an okay idea. I think you gotta lay out everything properly. I've been in a situation like this. Me trying to be a nice guy, it just didn't work out in my favor. And I personally would not get involved with just anyone inside a joint venture. I still today get asked by a lot of people, hey, why don't we do something together? And I'm pretty straightforward about telling them I'm not gonna do anything with you. Not that I don't like you, it's just I've had bad experiences and I'd rather do it myself or not do it at all. That's my way of looking at it. But hey, listen, if you guys feel comfortable about what you're gonna do, it could be a good idea, okay? But the way I would approach a joint venture is that you and your buddy or whoever it is not gonna live in this property. I would buy it straight up as an investment and you guys are gonna rent this thing out. I would go one step further because I've been burned before. I would go one step further and I would actually have a lawyer type out an agreement that basically says, for the next 5 years, you guys are not selling this thing. And if somebody wants out of this thing, the only thing that they're gonna get out is a buyout at the original investment that they put in. Treat it like a 5-year GIC, okay? You can't get your money out of this thing. And if you want your money out, you're gonna get your principal and you're not gonna get any of the gains. That should keep people in it for stronger. Also have a 5-year exit strategy out of this thing. Hey, in 5 years, if things worked out really well, that's awesome. Maybe you refinance that property and move it forward. Maybe sell that property. Both of you guys will have enough for a down payment to do your own thing. That's awesome. Maybe you guys worked out so well together and you guys will continue to keep that property and keep growing a portfolio. I don't know how that's gonna pan out, but if you do get into a joint venture, make sure everything's very tight. I'd spend the $500 at a lawyer and get something written up that everybody is safe on this thing and have an exit strategy in 5 years or so whenever you guys want out of this. So I think a joint venture could be a good idea. Another idea could be is that, and you guys have to do some research around this thing. It's not something that I could personally help you out with, but I could definitely make some recommendations. You know, there's a lot of opportunity in Alberta and out in the East Coast and stuff like that. So maybe the right idea is that you could possibly pick up a duplex in Alberta for $500,000, and maybe that's a good idea. Maybe you can get someone to property manage that thing for you and you continue to rent over here. Maybe that works out well for you, that you could buy a couple of pieces over there, and maybe you could start off a real estate base over there. You end up collecting a couple of properties out there because it's more affordable and you continue to rent here. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that as long as you're kind of in that market. I strongly, as you guys know if you've been watching my videos, I strongly believe in being in that real estate space. So if you can do it in another province or something and it's more affordable for you to get into, and maybe what you end up doing is that you buy that piece over there and it goes up in value, and then you could pretty much sell that place and maybe you have a bigger base to kind of buy back into the GTA. That could be another strategy for you to kind of get back into here. The third thing I'll tell you is that I don't think buying pre-construction is a bad idea, especially if somebody is like younger trying to get into the market, or anyone trying to get into the market, but they need more time to kind of settle in. I would look for awesome condo projects. There's a lot of them out there. Maybe this condo is going to take 3 or 4 years to build. I personally think that the interest rate position in that time is going to be in a better situation. I think that if you buy the right project, you're going to build up equity in it at the same time. So at least you could start to put in your deposit. You're not paying monthly payments. And a lot of these builders right now have very, very nice deposit structures where it gives you like a year and a half or 2 years to put down even 15%, 20%. And I think you should stick to that schedule and buy one of these properties. So when it comes up in 4 years, like I said, you'll have some equity. Hopefully interest rates are going to be in a little bit of a better position, and you can either sell that property, you could rent it out, you could live in it yourself. At least you will have something, some kind of a base to start off with. I know it's not the easiest thing to kind of get into this, and we are in a uncharted territory right now with what can happen with the housing market. But guys, I encourage you to continue with it, okay? And I'm not saying this because I'm a realtor. I get lots of comments on these posts that says, oh yeah, of course he would tell you to buy real estate. He's a realtor. All they care about is making money. If you guys know anything about me, I don't care if you buy real estate or don't buy real estate. My idea is that I want to try to teach you from what I have learned. And from what I have learned from the position that I came from, that real estate will really take you far. And guess what? It's not a get rich scheme, okay? You're not going to get rich in this in 1 year or 2 years. You're probably going to suffer a lot, okay? And that's just the way that it goes. So if you want to look at this thing in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, further down in the line, you want to protect your kids' future, that's where I'm strongly about it. You want to make money in 2 years, 3 years, buy crypto. I don't know, but it's not going to be real estate, okay, for the most part. Guys, if you have any questions about what I'm talking about here about affordability, guess what? I've opened up my online calendar and there's a lot of availability. I think people around me are sick of me talking about real estate, so I need new people to talk to about real estate. And I'm counting on you guys to book an appointment to chat. 15, 30 minutes, there's no pressure. Chat about whatever you like regarding real estate or cars. I like talking about cars, but mostly real estate. So I encourage you guys to click on the link, book an appointment, let's have a chat. And if you guys have liked this video, actually like it. Click the button down there, like this video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm always putting out what I feel is valuable content, so you don't want to miss it. Until next time, guys, remember one thing: get Kabani, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.